Hit the music.
I didn't actually catch that.
No, that's fine.
It was really aggressive. Why do you do that?
Round two with this.
Oh, that's much nicer. Okay.
That's like that one. There's that one clip from I don't know what movie or show it was. But this dude turns around to this lady and he's like, "How the hell you gonna tell me what's right for my family, bitch?" And then this guy is like, "Mr. Washington, you don't have to curse or be so aggressive. One will suffice." So he's like, "How you gonna tell me what's best for my family, bitch?"
Basically, yeah. Delivery is everything.
Round two, putas. What's up, y'all? We back up in this thing.
Up in this house.
We're here hitting you with the live shit.
Well,
not live, but the recorded short form shit.
Live for you.
Puro Pinche Podcast. I am Rustafer.
My name is
Ignacio Zarzamora. Southwest Military Martinez.
My God. My name is Chibi.
And we're here. Let's go, people.
We are unscripted this time. Actually, we're always unscripted.
We'll see how this goes. This may be either very short or ridiculously long.
Rooster's got thoughts. Let's go.
So peep game, people who pay attention to the Puro Pinche Podcast. If you're just tuning in now, we kind of talked about it on the last episode, but we're just trying shorter form content.
That's
sort
right.
of not so long and a lot less put together. So this episode is going to be very
a lot less meandering. We're not trying to cover everything.
Yes, the world is large, and a bitch got to take care of their own mental health.
That part. And if you want to know what's happening in the world, you can listen to NPR.
True.
I highly recommend
Highly recommend it. Donate to
Yes.
NPR.
That's right.
Listen
they
and
need
donate.
your money, and it doesn't cost much, right? You get $5 a month.
Yeah, they survive off granola.
Exactly, and they do such good work. They do such good work. I know someone who works at NPR. It's great.
Yeah. So this episode,
what is the thing? What is the segment? The topic?
Musings.
Philosophical musings.
That's what we're going to call this. Puro Pinche Philosophical Musings.
Would that fall under? Nope, you're wrong.
Oh, under our old things, no, or it could.
Do you have a strong sense of this is the way it is?
I do think that I'm right about something.
You do.
Yes.
You always think you're right, though.
That's fair. All right.
All right.
So
let's get into it.
Let's do it. Diving straight into the deep end of some philosophical shit. If you got your weed lighted up now, if you got your shrooms, I hope you popped them 30 minutes ago, or hit pause and come back.
Top off that double malt whiskey,
that ayahuasca you're about to take, because we're about to bang your brain marbles.
Mm-hmm. Scrape the bottom of the baggie and rub it all over your gums, people. Let's go.
So, are you familiar with the concept of like spatial theory, third space, first space, or first space, second space, third space?
I am, because we talked about it on the show before, and you introduced it to me.
Okay.
So let me recap.
Yes.
To see if I'm on the right path.
Cool.
This theory, this social theory, relates to the spaces that we predominantly inhabit, and how those spaces serve a function in our lives.
Yes.
And the first space would be the home, because this is where allegedly you spend the majority of your time, right? This is your space. The second space is usually somebody's job.
Or school.
Or school, right? Students. This is where you spend the second majority of your time, wherein there's an activity that brings you there on a regular basis. And then the third space being like the hangout space, right? Like the
Imagine space.
Imagine space.
Yes.
It's
the hangout space. It's the hangout space, because it's not a space you have to necessarily go.
You don't have to go to, but you choose to. It's like that bar in Friends that they always went to, the cafe thing or whatever. It's your local eatery that you frequent. It's the dog park, right?
It's the poetry slam.
It's the poetry slam. Exactly. All right. So I am up to speed. I get an A in Professor Wooster's
You really
class.
do. No, yeah. Round of applause. That was, yeah, I know. I had to give you, I know you're missing the soundboard.
It's way over there now.
It's so far.
But these chairs are so lovely. Quick shout out, because I didn't, we had a campaign, a Chair-Itty drive to replace the old, grimy, dusty, uncomfortable couch with 2 new chairs. And these are the 2 new chairs. So all of you that donated to that
we did it, people. Round of applause for them.
For you.
Yeah. Y'all deserve that.
You made it happen. Okay.
All right. Now, if you are high, you are very confused because we have not talked about the thing that we're going to talk about. So you're freaking out, man.
All right. So we had 3 spaces.
You're freaking out.
We had 3 spaces.
Okay. So if anyone is smarter than me on this, which is very highly possible, or has studied this and wants to contribute to the conversation, I'm open to this. Please don't come at me because it's just something that hit me. So space, the 3 spaces and that kind of theory relates to places we exist, and also more like they're considered like learning spaces. We learn things in these spaces.
Okay.
Now, I am looking at spatial theory in a different way, where now I have 4 spaces, and I feel like, and this is where the conversation and questions and stuff will arise from. The reason why people are struggling now, and sometimes always when you hear things like make America great again, or man, it's simpler times, things used to be better, or blah, 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 or man, I miss the 90s. The 90s has kind of been a big one that I've been hearing lately. Is because we used to really solely operate in 3 spaces back in the day, and now we operate in this very, very chaotic, stressful 4th space. So let me give you the spaces now.
All right.
So this is Rooster's 4 spaces. They're related a little bit to the 3.
Not to be confused with Foursquare.
Not to be confused with Foursquare.
Or the 4th dimension.
Yes. So space 1 has to do with interiority.
Okay.
This is a very real space. It's the space where your thoughts occur, your feelings occur, your spirituality occurs.
Yes.
And how you feel in here affects outside and other things.
Okay.
Right. So it's important that we consider this space as a space.
First and foremost.
And
otherwise you're in a codependent relationship.
You can even probably throw health in that. Yeah. Like there's things happening in here that propel you towards what you're doing. Space number 2 is what I call exterior space.
Okay.
Now this is, to kind of define it, it would be non-curated spaces that we have to exist in. So like your job, like your school. So again, similar to the previous ones, but this also includes things like a traffic jam or the highway, commuting. Like anytime you're going to the grocery store, like when you're around the outside world and people, and it's not by your design exactly, it's just, it's
because you have to.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Right. And now
grocery store makes sense.
Right.
I mean, you kind of have to. Not the Instacart, but
okay. Nowadays. 3rd space is what I'm considering curated space. So again, we haven't deviated too much from the previous theory, but curated space is invented space that you have curated for your tastes, for your interiority. It's kind of like a blend. Like curated space is important because it kind of combines both the exterior and the interior.
You choose to go there because it serves you on some capacity inside.
It involves others, but it's also highly curated. So a poetry show is a curated space. A museum is a curated space. But
a movie theater. Or a theater.
Yeah, you could say that. Also,
sporting events.
If also, yes, but even just like a relationship is a curated space, because you start building, because that person is independent of your interiority, but again, how they feel, how they treat you, how they do all these other things.
A healthy relationship.
A healthy relationship. The space and time you build together is kind of independent of you, and yet it really does affect your interiority and your spiritualism, on and on and on and on. And so curated space is the 3rd space. The 4th space, and this is where I feel like the problem of the times we're living in is we don't acknowledge this space as real space, as space that also affects the other 3, is cyberspace.
Yes. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. You were going there, and I was like, he better say the internet
It's
or something
internet.
like that. Okay.
And so we have generations of people growing up on the internet. I heard this quote the other day from some reel and shit like that. But this is also a premier example. Like something I saw on the internet affected me to make me think about something that kind of made me question my interiority, that made this whole thing happen, or this, you know, 4 space idea happen. And what it was is someone said that if you're in 2026, if you're not on social media or you're not posting things semi-regularly or whatever, you almost don't exist.
Yes.
And I don't know how much you agree about that. And I want to actually ask you that question and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But sort of that idea of like, so by not existing, if you cannot exist in that space equals you don't exist, then that means it's a real space. Like, you know, A plus B equals C, then B minus C. Anywho, the other thing is we work on that space. A lot of people's jobs are highly dependent on that space. Find love on that space. Build communities on that space. Curate. So it does curate in a lot of different ways.
So this is, before we dive into the further.
Yes.
My Virgo rising compels me to poke holes in your theory. And so that's where you're kind of making the case that I was already thinking. Does not then this 4th space, is it not just a flux between other spaces? Because sometimes we have to be on the internet because of our job. When we are on there, we kind of choose to be. And we're, you know, like our timelines are, you know, personalized for us. We're shopping online. So we're going to the websites instead of going to the actual stores. So that would essentially be a 3rd space. Is it not just a combination of the other spaces as the need is served?
I would say no. But here's the why. You're not curating space by not going to the store. You're actually just cutting out the exterior and just connecting the interior with the cyber and putting it together so that your interior can feel better because you don't want to go to the store because there's people there. And you see what I'm saying? And so the other thing too is, and here's the other reason why cyberspace is different than exterior space to a large degree: algorithms. The AI, this external
the blending of what is and isn't real,
the misinformation. Like it's this space that you can exist on. It's a space that you can get deleted off. Like you can lose your identity through cyber attacks. Like it's this and it's so wildly different than, like, if you get in a car wreck, you didn't fail to exist as a person, like, and get your identity stolen, you know what I mean? Like previously, or if someone robbed you and took your wallet, like typically, like back in the 90s, you didn't have to worry about your identity necessarily being stolen the same way that you do now. But now, like, just, you can get doxxed, you can get like all these sort of weird, complicated, this world, this space that does affect your lived outside curated space or at home curated space, your exterior space, because this is also why exterior space, why there is division, in my opinion, is because, and so much, like, if you see someone with a red MAGA hat, you kind of already, but why are you like that? You don't know that person. It's because of shit you learned on the internet and shit you've learned through media, through this hyper cyber media apparatus. And that has come to now affect your interior personhood.
Okay. Let's say, for the purposes of this conversation, I accept your theory and the definition of the 4 spaces. I think it might require some more refinement because I just made this up when I was drunk. I know. So because there is kind of like a difference between like consuming versus being in the space, I think, right? Like if I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm not necessarily in that 4th space. No. But if I'm commenting on those videos,
I would disagree, because the algorithm is still like, this is why I would say you still are, because your algorithm, even if we're both on YouTube, it's not the same YouTube.
Sure, but if I'm searching for something on YouTube, right? Or if I decide to go watch CNN on YouTube because I don't pay for cable, right? I think what you're saying makes sense so long as there is interaction and it isn't just a one-way relationship, right? Like, you're not just on there consuming, but you're interacting with in some way.
I think this is a great question. Let's deconstruct it just a little bit.
Okay.
Because I think your idea of like, I go on YouTube and I search CNN is important to kind of add layers to. On one hand, you could have just gone to CNN.com, but you chose to go to YouTube. So automatically YouTube is now this layer that has its own business priorities. It has its own algorithms. It has its own things. Yeah. And more importantly, that also has its own advertisements that has, and so like you're still getting bombarded in a different way than like, let's say in its simplest form, if you had just bought a newspaper,
right?
Like, yes, there's advertisements there, but you have the paper, you can do what the fuck you want with it. It is your thing to own and control.
Okay.
YouTube can do whatever the fuck it wants. And to be fair, in the era of misinformation, how do you know that what you got was CNN?
Sure.
Unless you went to CNN.com.
Sure.
And so like, that's where these whole kind of complicated parasocial relationships happen, where the manosphere rises out of, where scammers rise out of. Like, it's because it's this true, real space that has no real guardrails, that has no particular oversight, and self-regulated at all. And so going back to my initial kind of point, that's why in many ways we're so anxious, depressed, lost, feel like we're communicating all the time and yet lacking true connections. It's because back in the 90s, we only had 3 spaces to worry about, you know, like,
and those 3 spaces were so geo-specific.
Yes. like there's a loneliness epidemic, and I don't think it's just with men, but I think it's just general. Yeah. But it's because like your interior and the cyber is just sort of fucking each other in this non-healthy way because and I think AI is a good example of this when they were doing things like testing it. There was, I don't know if you saw this, but I thought it was hilarious. Someone uploaded a sound wave, like 3-minute record song, and they uploaded it onto ChatGPT. It was like, hey, this is a new song I produced. Please give me some feedback. I want to hear your honest critique of it. It was literally just them farting for 3 minutes. And ChatGPT still did the ChatGPT thing. It was like, I think this is actually real esoteric. I think it's out there. I think you're pushing the limits of genre and and like, and so it did that thing. But that's what I mean. So again, if you have a person who's isolated or who's interior is already kind of getting fucked up because it's atrophying from the lack of exteriority and curated third space, and it's just first and fourth. Like it's a recipe for fuckery. Worse.
No, and let's move past me playing devil's advocate and accept your theories and definitions. But I think that you're entirely right in that's where you're seeing a lot of let's just take the trope of the incel who lives in his parents' basement and spends his entire life in the comments section on Reddit or something like that, right? And how that is created because of a lack of actual real connection, right? A lack of actual exposure to other people, places, things, ideas. Only the ideas that you are seeking out that kind of self-validate your own ideas, whether they are right, wrong, morally questionable or not.
Dangerous even.
Yeah. Okay. So then
let's go back to, you had posed a question earlier, right? And I was like, probably. You said so. I guess my thought is, would you agree that life was easier because no internet?
Absolutely. I briefly mentioned it in the last episode when we mentioned the bicentennial, which happened in 1976, before the internet, right? And how we talked about how it when you look at videos and coverage and all of that from the bicentennial, it just looks like a lot more joyful. People are bought into this idea of, the American dream and the American spirit and what, America invented democracy or something like that. Because the internet didn't exist, right?
Essentially.
Now, let me walk back my opinion.
Okay.
Because you asked, do I agree that life was better, the world was better before the internet?
Yeah.
What was that? It was something like that?
Right.
Yes and no. I think it was better in the sense that divisions. The camera just decided to look at my hand for some reason.
Or there's a ghost.
There we go.
Okay.
It was better in the sense that everything seemed much more amicable on the surface.
Right.
However,
well, because you had, just to interject, you had to be amicable, especially in like second space, because you had to deal with people more regularly than now.
Sure. However, underneath...
So civility.
Yes. There was more civility, give or take. However, underneath that, things were not better because there was a lack of exposure to information, right? If you look at the LGBTQ population, right? Unless you actually met another queer person, you might think you're the only one in the whole world. Right? Because you're not finding it in movies and books and, you know, like, especially depending on where you live, right? You're not getting
disconnected.
You're disconnected because the internet doesn't exist, right? You're also seeing a lack of larger scale movements because of how slow information moves, right? So I would say that maybe there was this kind of pristine era of the internet that lasted from like 2002 to 2004, wherein, right, like...
I'd say 7.
Okay,
or 8.
Sure. Just because like 2004, 2005 was like the when the iPhone first came out, right? And so like computers in your hands sort of deal, and the invention of social media. No, that probably came, give or take, Facebook, right? But yeah, where information was more freely accessible, you could tap into communities outside of your immediate vicinity. There was more of a sense of connection to other people, like going back to queer people. There was a space called the D-List online, which was basically just a chat room for gay people, like AOL, like MSN Messenger chat rooms or AOL chat rooms, but for gay people to just meet and talk to each other and like not feel so alone. I think it came from Kathy Griffin or something, like the idea of the D-List. I don't know. Or maybe the D-List. So there was a moment there where like the internet was, I think, serving its ideal purpose of connecting the world. Yeah. Right. And disseminating information and educating.
Sharing Backstreet Boy videos.
Absolutely. Illegally downloading music. Not that we ever did that. But there was that golden era. And I think, so that's where I don't think I agree with the idea that the world was better before the internet, but I do think the world was better before social media. And I think that is what has transformed your idea of the fourth space into an actual fourth space is social media, because now
civility goes away.
Well, now you're not just going onto someone's website and taking in the content on their website.
Right.
Now you are interacting with content or creating your own behind the anonymity of a fourth wall, shall we say. And I think that is what has eroded at the fabric of society and culture to a point where tribalism has become, it's kind of at its peak right now, because people are fed only the information that validates their own worldviews and existence for the most part. And we now have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people that don't know how to actually interact with another person in real life.
I agree.
Cool. Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
It was a short one.
No.
I did. You were very prolific in your.
I apologize.
No, it was good. So it made me forget my question. This was my question. Does 2026 internet, as we live, work, find love, find God, find quote unquote digital community, also flatten joy? And here's what I mean. On the last pod, we talked about the organic overflow of joy, thanks to the World Cup, thanks to the Spurs. Go Spurs, go. But does the internet make life, and more specifically joy, performative?
Yes, but well, I don't know if it makes it any more performative, more or less performative than it's always been. You know, because like, let's use the example of Instagram and influencers and how their life looks perfect on Instagram, right? Before the internet, there was the idea of the Stepford Wives, right? And the whole, like, you're keeping up appearances for the neighbors and we don't talk about the bad stuff that's going on. So I think the idea of performative joy has always existed. So I don't know that the internet has necessarily made it more or less than what it was. I think you're now able to perform to a larger audience, but I don't think that changes the level at which these performances are happening, because they've always been happening. But I do think it does affect joy and our experience of joy. And I'll tell you why, scientifically speaking. If you've ever looked into or studied the sciences of like substance abuse or substance use in general, right? To oversimplify the entire thing, right? You take a drug, it raises your dopamine levels.
Love that dopamine.
You come down off that dopamine, off that drug. And because of the way our body is regulated, it has to balance itself. And so chemically, it brings us down below our baseline because we were so high up. And then we eventually come back to equilibrium. Anyone that's ever taken ecstasy knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. But you can also do it with drinking, right? Yeah. There is a high and then there's a low, usually the next morning. And our body gets these dopamine hits through a number of different things. It's not just drugs, right? Exercise, we get dopamine, right? Watching, being with a loved one gives us dopamine, right? Sex and acts of love gives us dopamine. Watching a TV show or something that we enjoy, playing with our dogs, all of these are forms of dopamine, right? And the thing is, evolutionarily, our bodies adapted to a kind of hunter-gatherer way of existence where it took effort for your body to receive dopamine. So it took you a long time to get there. You received it, and then it was a while before you got it again, right? Yep. In terms of finding food or all of that, right? Like there was a buildup that happened, and then the recession, and then the buildup back again, right? So there was a regulation. Now, because of the internet and algorithms and the way that we are fed things over and over and over again, it's like dopamine spike, dopamine spike, dopamine spike, dopamine spike. And so then our body counters that, and we get these lows that are now going lower and lower and lower, and our regulation is off, and we can't find center anymore.
So,
and the things that gave us joy no longer give us as much joy because you become desensitized on a biological level.
Right. I'll give you, I love everything you're saying, and I'm agreeing with it. And I think, as an example of everything you're talking about, I use YouTube Music for instead of Spotify. I listen to a lot of random shit, but to that dopamine spike, there is this kind of thing that I'm starting to become aware of, like, just periodically, it really likes to play the Misfits out of nowhere. And I feel good. And it kind of gets me. But it's happened for however many years I've had this, to where now it's like, I'm almost like sugar sick of it.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's like, or Outkast or whoever. And it's like, man, this is a band I really like, but why am I not liking it now?
Yeah.
And it's because, like, the time you used to give to like an album, or the time you would spend learning the record or burning it, playing it so that you knew every song, to then find someone who else to talk about it, like all that's kind of disappeared. Similar with movies, going to Blockbuster Video, scouring through all the genres, and then if you're lucky, like, holy shit, they don't have Halloween, but they got Halloween 4, and you're like, great. Is it awesome? No. But we get to see Michael Myers kill some people. Where now, just as I turn on a streamer, I have to scroll through like hundreds, if not thousands of slasher films that I could give a fuck about.
Yeah.
And the one that I want's still not there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can take your favorite movie as an example. Like, unless you are 4 years old, when you watch your favorite movie, if you watch it again immediately, it's not as enjoyable as the first time, right? And so that's where oftentimes, like, usually when you come across a movie you've already seen, the longer it's been since the last time you saw it, the more hyped you are about it and the more enjoyable it is to rewatch. And that is that playing out in real time of, like, if you are constantly getting the thing that is hitting your buzzer, right? Ringing your bell like this.
Flicking the bean.
Flicking the bean.
The brain bean.
Then you become numb to it, essentially.
Yeah.
And I do think that social media has...
Or it makes you sick.
Or it makes you sick. That social media has attributed to that overall sense of less joy in people's lives, right? Of like, I just don't feel as happy as I think I used to feel.
I think I would push a little bit back and say that I feel like, yes, social media clear correlation, but I think it's bled into so much more. I think online shopping, which used to be novel. I remember my mother used to like was so afraid of Amazon. Like, I can't order from online. You mean I put my credit card online?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but then they deliver it to your house tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you mean? Like, I got to go to like Walmart to even see if they have it.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you can just, like, that has sort of passed. So now we're like, even things like, do you ever impulse buy and feel dirty?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like a thing like, I just bought this and why did I buy it? I don't really need it.
Or sometimes, did I
need it?
Yeah, sometimes I'll buy something I need. Like, I feel
it's the dopamine rush.
No, not even the dopamine. I think it's to me,
it's the dopamine.
Sure. Well, because there is shop therapy, which provides a dopamine rush.
It's called addiction.
But like, I mean, yeah, but like sometimes, but so like, if I want a black shirt from Amazon, I know I can get it tomorrow because they have who the fuck knows however many billions.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost me $6 or whatever, if that. It's so I'll just do that rather than go to the store for those menial things.
Yeah.
But then sometimes when I buy something that's needed and still kind of menial, like toothpaste or toilet paper or something, then I feel dirty because I'm like, my ass wouldn't just drive up the street to the aisle where I know where it's at.
Look,
that I know they have it on. I can get it now, like right now.
Let me illustrate this through the perspective of cosmetics.
Okay.
Because I lived it.
Yes.
The advent of online shopping and the internet led to the inevitable demise of the department store.
Okay.
We are, if not already there, on, Sears is gone.
Yeah.
Foley's is gone.
Yeah.
JCPenney is hanging on by a thread, right?
Right.
Dillard's and Macy's are closing left and right. So people no longer go to purchase their cosmetics because that was the thing that you had to go to refill, right? Because you use it regularly, so you're going to buy it regularly. So it's a thing, right? It's like groceries. Now you can just refill online. Hell, you can now put that shit on subscription and it auto refills for you every 6 weeks, right? There is no longer the need to interact with another person. This further diminishes from our joy because, like, I worked for Mac for nearly a decade. We would teach and give what was known as the Mac experience, right?
Yes, I remember, yes.
Where you walk in, there's a whole way to greet, and then you demo and you try on, and there's recommendations, and you're talking to an artist and getting personalized suggestions and things like that. And, yes, part of it was capitalism, so we can upsell you on like 6 other things that you didn't come in here for originally. But part of it was too, like,
customer service.
It was an experience, and the customer left left feeling
You
like
serviced those
I
people.
got something, right?
Yeah.
That was more than just the stuff that's in my bag.
Yeah.
You know? And now those experiences are gone.
Yeah.
And not just gone, they are diminishing quickly. Houston, for example, I just found this out like 2 days ago. Houston used to have.
It's not there anymore.
It's
Houston's
not.
gone.
Houston's gone.
They moved.
No, they will be underwater in 10 years. But
This is true. Shout out to y'all. We love you.
we love you. Houston had 3 Mac stores, freestanding Mac stores. This is different from the cosmetic counters that are
These
inside.
are like brick and
Max's.
mortar.
Yes. The longest one that had been there, I believe, was the one at Rice Village. OG, small footprint, but like had been there for fucking decades, right? And then there was the one at the Galleria, which is the one I worked at, and then I actually opened another one at Memorial City.
Flex.
Well, it was opening, and I
you're
got
good at your fucking
I got
job.
hired to be the assistant
good at
manager
your
there.
fucking job.
And so I opened the store.
Recognize.
So there were 3. Both Memorial City and Rice Village closed last week on the same day. Those locations just shut down. So now all of Houston only has 1 Mac store.
Yeah.
And not to say that like you can't get a similar experience at a Mac counter, because you can. That's the whole point.
That's the Mac promise.
You know.
We're not sponsored, by the way.
But you have lost that experience, that 360 immersive experience of being in the Mac world, and because of that, there's so much that goes. Part of it is there's so much that goes into going to a mall that people just fucking hate. You know, to go back to your thing of like, why didn't I just get in the car and drive and go buy some toothpaste? Because you have to get in the car and then you live in fucking South Texas and it's 100 degrees. Sure, transit, right? And it's getting into your car's 100 degrees. If you're not driving, you know, like at least 20 minutes, by the time you get there, the car hasn't even cooled off yet.
No.
And then you have to deal with like finding the card and parking and shopping through things, you know, moving
Someone's
through
gonna talk to
people. You might run into someone. Right,
Yeah.
which nowadays is like if you ran into someone you
We're
know,
like,
hide, shit, someone from high school, right? All of these things.
Oh, hi, Lisa. Yeah.
And also, that also provided the positive side of it. Of you are outside, you see what the world actually, you know, what the weather is doing.
Because we don't shop
today.
like we used to. We used to peruse.
Exactly. We didn't even peruse. Like we used to just idle. Yes, loiter in shopping spaces, and
In
maybe
the
we bought
malls.
something, maybe we didn't, right?
Yeah.
And if we ran into someone, it was like, oh my god, I haven't seen you in forever.
What are you doing here?
Right? Those were
Loitering
the dopamine
like
rushes.
you.
Basically, you want to go get into some trouble?
You remember like American Cookie at the mall?
Yes, still exists.
It's crazy. I just wanted
That's
to,
it.
sorry, just
That's it.
Yeah.
Still exists.
just kind of there doing their thing, man.
And so all of that to say that I agree with the assessment that this fourth space is ruining our interior space.
Yeah.
However,
And exterior and third, in my opinion.
However, I do see a return to the third space, a return to an embrace of said third space. One, because people are just wanting to hang out more, right? And you see places that are popping up that are catering to this idea of just hanging out. We were just at Hops and Hounds downtown.
It's a great spot.
Right next to Elsewhere, right? Which are both just like outdoor hangout spots.
Yeah.
They got picnic tables, they got food
Rumbles
trucks.
like that, the friendly spots like that.
The friendly spot, exactly. Like they had the World Cup playing, even though nothing interesting was happening,
Yeah.
right? Like it's a thing. Like these spaces are popping up more and more that are not commercialized. They're not Olive Garden, right?
Right.
And they're not necessarily. The activity isn't baked into the destination, right? If you're going to the movies, you're going to go watch a movie. If you're going to Olive Garden, you're going to go eat a meal. Here,
Shitty meal.
well, debatable. That's steak gorgonzola. But if you're going to a place like the friendly spot, like, you know, Hops and Hounds Elsewhere, you're not going there because the spot itself has something for you to do. You're going there to meet with other people and to be in community with other people. And that is also how you're seeing malls being saved is that places that used to be department stores are turning into experience-driven spaces. You see a lot of gyms now at the mall, right? You see a lot of bars popping up as part of being at the mall.
And luxury designer brand stores like Gucci, I believe, and some others, they're starting to install like cafes.
Yeah.
So that you can be and loiter and hang.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can be part of it. So I think
I didn't buy a fucking thing, but I got a latte.
Exactly.
Post that shit on Instagram.
I think there's a awareness to what we have lost and a desire to return to that I think is being driven by younger people.
Yeah.
Because we're old and crusty and jaded and what have you.
Right.
And I think what's also inspiring to see is that there's also younger people that are looking for, and now because of it, spaces being created that don't center alcohol as the activity.
Sure.
That really do center that idea of community, right? And just being amongst each other. That I think is really inspiring and fun to see. So there is hope, compadre.
I have a question.
Okay.
Would you consider internet culture actual culture?
Define internet culture.
No, you define internet culture. I just asked this weird ass question.
I don't know how I would define internet culture, so I don't know that it's a real thing. Okay. Like somebody just told me yesterday, what was the term that I learned? TikTok face. Is that what it was?
That's the thing.
TikTok face.
There's also TikTok voice is a thing.
And I was like, what the fuck is that? And it's like when you're watching like a period piece like Wuthering Heights and then Jacob Elordi appears on screen and you're like, that guy definitely doesn't belong in the 1700s.
Right.
Right. You just have TikTok face.
Yeah.
Like you're too modern, too pretty, too whatever. So internet culture. Yeah, I don't know what that means.
So
maybe because I don't subscribe.
I think because the other thing I think about all these spaces, the four of them, is that culture, and the way I would define culture is sort of like traditions, norms, things that occur, even to a certain degree, ancestral knowledge or things that we came kind of exist in the first three. Like even in our interiority, that kind of culture exists. But on the internet, I always feel that it's the facade of culture, but not actual culture. Like the Bayhive, and don't come for us, Bayhive. Like
we love you. We are you.
It's this strong fandom, but it's also this vicarious living through things more vicariously, where you're like, I'm so into this. Oh my God. Like I've watched Love Island now. I'm sorry to tell America. Fuck you, Casey. You gave away a real one.
You and my sister need to apparently connect.
I'm down. Julia, call your boy. Let's do it. Yeah. We hate Sincere. Anyway. But like what's also fun about it, so this is an example of internet culture, is you used to watch a show, you internalize a show. If there's someone at your job that likes the show, you talk about the show. Water cooler culture. But now you just immediately in real time run to the internet and you vote on things, you communicate on things, people debate things.
Okay.
And with that idea of like, that's cool. I also think it's this extension of like interiority and cyber world, like creating culture. That's not.
Is it culture or is it community?
Community
like
is culture.
Faux community.
Well, I think both is true.
Okay.
I think culture is community.
I think culture is bigger than community.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I think community is
a part of culture.
Community is the people that belong to a certain group, and the culture is the norms of that group of people, like the norms, the traditions, the beliefs,
wants, desires, all that. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because you can also have technically like a community that's cultureless, I guess. Like, you know,
but even that
white
is a
people,
culture.
No, that's all.
Even that's a culture.
No, yeah, we love y'all. But I was thinking, like,
unseasoned chicken is culture.
They keep making it, so it's a thing. But I guess like banding together, even trends, like challenges, like
Yeah.
you could say that that's culture.
TikTok. Yeah.
But I think again, it's always through,
I see that.
or even like you remember, you know what I miss that was kind of culture, the duck lips.
The duck lips.
The duck lips.
Oh,
Every selfie got to do the duck lips. You remember the kitty cat face or the dog ear face?
I don't. Oh yeah. On Instagram,
Yeah.
when the overlay filters things first came out. Yeah. So okay, so I see what you're saying, and then to
Is
that
that-
I do. Yes, it is, because it is a community of people that are establishing beliefs. Not to call them routines, right? But a set of like norms.
But I guess my question is it a
um,
facade of culture? Because
No, I don't think it's a facade of culture, because if you were to say that, then you would have to then subscribe to the idea that the fourth space is a facade. But the fourth space is a real space.
That's
we
true.
may not like it, but it is a real space, and therefore it does have real culture tied to it, because it was created by the community that inhabits that space.
okay.
You
Good
know.
answer. I don't know if I agree. But again, this is just some shit I made up when I've been drinking.
That's right. This is some Socratic symposium is what's going on. So do we have any kind of closing thoughts, questions, hopes, looks for the future? I don't know.
Dark space, curated people, get with your friends.
Get with your friends.
Fuck your friends.
Touch some grass.
Touch some butts.
No.
Yeah.
Wait a sec. Consensually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or sometimes try.
No.
Okay.
No.
Consensually.
There you go. Put it back. Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess people let us know what you think about this idea of fourth space.
Or
in the fourth space.
or think about and DM us on this, the revolution of the fourth space, because that was kind of where I've arrived at, and I don't know this. I have no.
You don't know what the
answers.
revolution is.
Because taking back
It
culture,
will be televised.
It will be. It would be tweeted about. It'll be X'd or whatever. But like this, like when we come to what we've lost or what we want to acquire or what we want to bring back or build or whatever, like it is going to require revolutionary thinking and feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that looks like yet, but I'm curious to see if people even think what I'm saying makes sense. And then two, like, so I'm a firm believer in you name a thing so that you can then dissect it or
Address it.
Yes.
You know,
like
you can't address the problem if you don't name it. Yes.
And so like, that's kind of where this originated from, was that.
Now, I don't think that the solution, just to throw my two
Burn it
cents
down.
in, I don't think it's
agree.
a burn it down situation. Like, I'll give you the other month, I think it was WrestleMania. I was watching a wrestling PLE.
Drink if you caught the Chibi wrestling reference.
That's right.
Take a shot. We're gonna start doing that.
It's going to start doing that, yeah. Because it is my guilty pleasure. I was watching it and commenting, like posting on Facebook at the same time, because I don't fucking Twitter, right? And all of a sudden, I get a Facebook Messenger message, a DM from Catalyst, who has created a group chat between himself, myself, Eddie Figures, and Black Chakra, because all four of us were apparently watching WrestleMania and commenting live on Facebook.
Yeah.
And so we just started, like commenting to each other as the show went on, right? And it created a sense of community with four cats that, are pretty fucking cool. I enjoy all of them. And we all apparently watch and care about wrestling to some degree. And it was a way to kind of like still be in community while being, like Catalyst is in fucking somewhere in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Figures in Orlando, Chakra in Baltimore, right? Like, so spread across the country, but we still kind of came together to share our thoughts and opinions with each other, not behind the anonymity of a screen, because we all know each other. So, there is something to be said about the advantages the fourth space.
I think I would say that the
benefits.
Yes. And to that point, I would say the revolution of the fourth space may be us returning to the internet being a tool, which it currently isn't. Or if it is, it's one that we do not
Let's go
control.
back to AOL chat rooms.
Dude. I remember just playing spades on internet AOL chat rooms and like just flaming strangers, like roasting the shit out of strangers. Because it was like, oh, you big man, you know, just talking shit.
The amount of times that I pretended like I was 18 years old on internet chat rooms.
The amount of DMs I've sent with illicit just things to people.
Allegedly.
No, I mean, like, for real. Not like, well, I mean, like, consensually.
Consensually.
But, like, what I mean is just like, yeah, like, and it's just sort of also, even in that regard, it's fascinating that in this fourth space, that, like, romance, sex, passion, illicit desires exist, but, like, unless you're, like, in the kink world or something, like, you're not living it the way that you want to.
Sure.
So, yeah, spank some butts.
You should. To go back to the D list, you know, like when I discovered the D list is when I moved back to Laredo after college, and I had just moved back and I had no friends, essentially, right? I was starting my life completely anew, even though it was the city I grew up in. I hadn't been there for 6 years, right? And the D list was just a place where I found community and like would get on there, and you could video call, if I remember correctly. Right. And sometimes I would just chat with random strangers about life for hours because it was like, oh, cool. Meeting people. And then it got shut down because fascism.
Anyway, y'all, let us know what you think. Send us DMs, like, subscribe. Talk to other people about what we talk about.
That's right. But thanks for sticking around for another episode. That was cute.
Yeah.
That went on longer than I think you thought it was going to.
Yeah.
This is good discourse.
Good
debate.
Just fun times.
Fun
times with friends. Yeah, I had a good time. Well, we appreciate y'all. We hope y'all had a fun time. If you're high right now, time to spark another bowl.
There you go. It's actually time to eat is what it is. All right. I think it's time to get you something. Get them munchies taken care of. Stay hydrated. Stay nourished.
We appreciate you.
Thank you for being here. Speaking of fourth space, go ahead and interact with us on that fourth space. Leave comments on the podcast or YouTube video. Slide into the DMs. Rooster, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram at RoostMTZ. Shimmy, where can they find you?
On Instagram also, Gemini's GEMINEYES.
We're happy y'all hung with us.
Or you can, subscribe to Gemini's Productions, where we post about all the shows that are happening in this world on YouTube.
Buy some merch.
PuroPinchePod.com/pod. T-shirts, booty shorts, stickers. I don't know if we have stickers. I don't know. But things are for sale, and it goes to help us expand our to take over the world.
Enjoy the strawberry moon tonight. Ooh. And shout out to Gracie the giraffe, who is now home and safe.
Actually, by the time people hear this, the strawberry moon is long gone.
I hope you enjoyed the strawberry moon.
And shout out to Gracie the giraffe, who is roaming Texas like a vagabond, like a hooligan, like a rebel without a cause.
Celebrating the World Cup.
That's right. Until next time, stay safe out there, people.
Peace.